Every season, fans watch their team lose and scream the same thing at their TVs. We need a new quarterback. Or, catch the damn ball. Or, why can't we stop anyone? And every season, front offices ignore the obvious, sign the wrong players, draft the wrong positions, and wonder why nothing changes. Welcome to the brutal reality of NFL team building, where one missing piece turns contenders into dumpster fires. And everyone knows the solution, except the people getting paid millions to figure it out. So today we're breaking down what every NFL team actually needs right now. And we're starting with a team that's been searching for a quarterback since disco was popular, and just watched their salvation last exactly 4 plays. The New York Jets need a quarterback who doesn't immediately explode. Groundbreaking analysis, I know. But the Jets have been searching for a franchise quarterback since Joe Namath retired in 1977. 47 years of quarterbacking hell. Chad Pennington was good until his shoulder exploded. Mark Sanchez looked competent for 2 playoff runs before becoming a meme. Butt fumble. Geno Smith got punched in the face by his own teammate. Sam Darnold saw ghosts. And Zach Wilson pretty much just existed. Then they traded for Aaron Rodgers. Finally, a Hall of Fame quarterback. Problem solved. Rodgers played 4 snaps before tearing his Achilles. 4 snaps. The Jets are cursed. Genuinely cursed. There's no other explanation. They need a quarterback who stays healthy for more than 1 drive. A quarterback who doesn't implode mentally. A quarterback who functions without perfect conditions. But more importantly, they need to figure out why their organization is where quarterbacks go to die. Because until they fix whatever dark magic is happening in that building, it doesn't matter who they draft or sign. But if you think the Jets' quarterback situation is hopeless, wait until you hear about the team that has a quarterback but forgot to give him anyone to throw the ball to. The Chicago Bears need wide receivers. Not one receiver, multiple receivers. DJ Moore is good, no doubt. But everyone else is either a rookie or someone you vaguely remember from another team's depth chart. Justin Fields spent years scrambling for his life and throwing to receivers who couldn't get separation even if they were invisible. Now the Bears have Caleb Williams, the #1 overall pick, surrounded by the same guys who made Fields look like he was playing quarterback in a witness protection program. You can't develop a young quarterback when his receivers run routes like they learned football from YouTube tutorials. I mean, you can't expect a rookie to succeed when his best option is DJ Moore and a prayer. The Bears need to go into free agency with a blank check and sign every available receiver. Trade for someone elite. Find a mad scientist who can clone DJ Moore at least 3 times. Right now, they're setting up Caleb Williams for the same fate as Justin Fields. Talented quarterback blamed for failures that aren't his fault. But if you think missing receivers is bad, the next team has receivers. But forgot that you need people to block for the person throwing to them before he gets pancaked to his back. The Cincinnati Bengals need an offensive line. Badly. Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in football when he's upright, when he's not running for his life, when he's not getting sacked 7 times in a game. The Bengals invested everything in offensive weapons. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon before they cut him. They built an explosive offense, but they completely ignored the offensive line part in the offense. Burrow got sacked 70 times in his injury-plagued 2021 and 2022 seasons. I wonder why. That's 70. That's not bad luck. That's organizational malpractice. He's dealt with injuries ever since because he spends more time on his back than throwing. So, the Bengals need to draft skilled offensive linemen. Plain and simple, because if they don't, Burrow's career ends early, and everyone will wonder what could have been if Cincinnati had protected their franchise quarterback. But if you think bad offensive lines are dangerous, the next team's defense is so porous that opposing offenses are scoring in their sleep. The Dallas Cowboys need a defense that shows up in January. Regular season, the Cowboys are fine. Competitive, sometimes dominant. But when it comes to the playoffs, they transform into a JV squad that doesn't know their from a football. I know Dak Prescott gets all the blame for playoff failures, but the defense deserves equal responsibility for consistently getting torched when it matters most. The 2023 playoffs, they got destroyed by the Packers at home. 7 seed beat a 2 seed. Embarrassing doesn't begin to cover it. It's a pattern. Every year, the Cowboys look good enough to compete. Then January hits and the defense completely clocks out. They need players who don't shrink in big moments, leaders who show up when the pressure is highest, a defensive coordinator who makes adjustments instead of watching opposing offenses run the same play 15 times. But most importantly, they need mental toughness, because all the talent in the world doesn't matter if you fold the moment the playoffs start. But if you think playoff collapses are frustrating, the next team makes them look like an offensive juggernaut. The New England Patriots need to admit they're rebuilding. Until this season, the Patriots have been stuck in football purgatory. Not good enough to compete, not bad enough to get elite draft picks. Just mediocre enough to waste everyone's time. They drafted Mac Jones and tried to build around him. That failed spectacularly. Now they've moved on to whatever quarterback experiment they're running this year. And we'll give them credit. Something is finally clicking after 5 desolate seasons. Here's the problem. The Patriots were trying to compete and rebuild at the same time. It doesn't work that way, Mr. Kraft. They needed to commit to a full rebuild. Trade veterans for picks, draft young talent, build for the future instead of clinging to the past. Bill Belichick is gone. Tom Brady is long gone in some cushy booth talking about football. The dynasty is over. Management needed to accept it and start fresh. The Patriots needed to embrace the idea of being bad for a few years so they could be good again later. But they were too stubborn to tank, too mediocre to compete, and too prideful to admit they needed to start over. But if you think rebuilding is hard, the next team has been rebuilding for over 2 decades and still hasn't figured it out. The Cleveland Browns need Baker Mayfield back. They need to stop making impulsive decisions. The Browns traded for Deshaun Watson, gave him a fully guaranteed $230 million contract, largest guaranteed deal in NFL history. Then Watson got suspended for 11 games and came back rusty. He played mediocre football, got hurt, came back, and was still mediocre. Meanwhile, Baker Mayfield, who they gave up on, is thriving in Tampa Bay. The Browns need stability. They need to stop chasing shiny objects and commit to building something sustainable. But more than anything, they need to stop being the Browns. Stop making decisions that blow up in their faces. Stop being a punchline. Every year, Browns fans hope this is the year. Every year, something goes catastrophically wrong. They don't need one specific piece. They need competent organizational decision-making from top to bottom. But if you think the Browns make bad decisions, the next team elevated it to an art form. The Las Vegas Raiders need, well, everything. Quarterback? Yes. A head coach? Desperately. The Raiders have been in chaos for years. Constant coaching changes. Constant roster turnover. No consistency. No plan. They fired Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler mid-season. Brought in Antonio Pierce. Now they're trying to figure out what happens next. What do the Raiders need? A complete organizational reset from ownership down. They need a long-term plan. They need to stop being the team that veteran players go to for one big contract before retiring. They need to sub in Al Davis, circa 1976. The Raiders are a mess, and fixing it requires more than one offseason. It requires patience, smart decisions, and luck. So there you have it. Now, if you think these teams' needs are obvious, wait until you see the players who were so dominant, so completely unstoppable, that the NFL had to literally rewrite the rulebook just to slow them down. Talking about players who broke football, who turned the game into their personal playground, who forced a league to say, okay, we need to change the actual rules because this is getting ridiculous. Check it out right here.